Let's talk about the stages of production in regards to video projects. We're going to start with pre-production. Obviously, this is what all the activities that happen before we start shooting, but it begins with the actual inception of the project. So that might happen in a couple of ways. You know, there's plenty of video producers out there, content creators that are coming up with ideas and distributing them based on their own personal interests, right? But sometimes that project can be like conceptualized by somebody else and you be charged with executing it, right? So regardless of where things come from, starting with, hey, we're going to do this project and we need to start thinking about what needs to be done. That's the pre-production phase. It also includes all these other items that are worthwhile to talk about, okay? You need to, during pre-production, identify an audience. It's so important that right up front, before you really start doing too much work, that you know who you are intending this content to be suited for, right? Who's going to be watching? Is it going on network television? Is it public access? Is it some sort of YouTube channel? Is it streaming on Twitch? What is it? And who's going to be consuming that content? So you need to identify that audience. It can be useful to think about demographics and psychographics or look at analytical data so you know exactly who is potentially going to be watching, who the advertisers might be, sponsorship. All these things come into, well, who's going to be watching and who do I have to please, or is this a passion project just for myself? Well, you want to set goals. Of course, projects are executed much more efficiently if there are small goals set along the way. You need to have shooting done by this day. You need to have reshoots done by this day. You need dialogue replacement on this day. Maybe you need to have script by such and such date. It's important to set these goals so that you stay on track with these types of sort of big projects, right? But you want to make sure that you set these smaller goals for yourself so you can make baby steps towards the finished product. Okay, script writing. A lot of times in modern sort of content creation, we're skipping scripts and storyboards. We're trying to just do things spontaneously. And where that might be kind of cool sometimes, it also can present a lot of unforeseen issues, right? So coming together with writers, coming up with ideas, bouncing ideas off of each other, and really in a collaborative effort to sort of work out the best script and storyboard so you have an idea of what talent needs to be doing, but also about what camera operators, what shots we're going for so we can efficiently, again, reach our goals. Location scouting is going to be a big one as well because you're dealing with potentially public spaces. Do you need permission to film in a particular location? What time of day works best? What time of year? What was it like the last time you shot in order to sort of make a consistent image, right? All those things are going to come into play. Casting. Who is a reliable, talented person that can be part of this production? Might just be for the talent positions, but think about who's going to be running camera, who's better at script writing and storyboarding, who's going to be the editor. All those kind of like planning things are happening during pre-production. And budgeting. Do you have a budget? Are you fortunate enough to be able to spend money on this, or do you have to make lemonade with whatever you have available to you? All of these are pre-production considerations that I would think about and really have planned out before I even begin anything else. The next stage is production, when the actual filming and content creation begins. So you've got a solid plan, a schedule perhaps, and now you need to think, what equipment do I have access to and what can I use in what way? How am I going to collect all the different content that we're creating? Where are we going to archive that? Who's going to organize and label the different video files and audio content? Where are we going to keep all that stuff? How are we going to share it with one another if there's multiple people working on a project? You're going to do the actual shooting, the camera work. You're going to have the talent. You're going to execute the actual creation of the content. You need to figure out who's going to be doing what and who's going to be doing what when. And of course, making backups of all the content that you create, because the last thing you want is, a lost SD card or a corrupt hard drive or something like that to prevent you from fulfilling your goals. And then we move on to post-production. We've done the shooting, we've collected all the content, and we've gotten through that stage. But we need to, all the other things that we do after filming has wrapped is considered post-production. So yeah, that's going to be editing the video. It's going to be recording voiceovers and adding graphics and sound effects and music. It's going to be any sort of color correction, graphics that might be added, CGI effects that you want to try to work into it. All of these activities are going to be done after the fact, using something like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, whatever video editing software you want to use, and in whatever combination we're using those things. That happens in the post-production stage. So when we're executing projects, you really got to think, I need time. Like, I have an idea, and then I need time to work through those pre-production activities so that the shooting, the actual production, can run smoothly. And then again, plan and coordinate the post-production process so you can efficiently get through everything that you need to meet a deadline. So there you have it. There's the basic stages of production. You take careful consideration of all those things, and you'll be able to fulfill your goals in video production and complete projects in the most successful way possible.